evening, students. I am Abida Alaham, and this is Carib Voices with the news at 6. In the headlines, a new guild president has been elected at the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine. School janitors are calling for students to be more responsible and pick up after themselves. In sport, preparations for UWI's 9th annual half marathon get underway, and regionally, Barbados's Environment and Drainage Minister Dr. Dennis Lowe announces plans for a waste-to-energy plant to be built. On the international front, George Zimmerman has been charged with second-degree murder in the death of Trayvon Martin. Last week, UWI students exercised their democratic right and voted in a new guild president to seek out their best interest. But considering all the allegations surrounding the guild, can he do it? Nikki Johnson has more for you on this story.
Kevin Ramsawak of the Faculty of Social Sciences is the new guild president at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. Only 10% of the UWI student population, that's 1,800 students, turned out to vote in the guild elections last Thursday. Of these, just 740 votes were sufficient for Mr. Ramsawak to claim victory. While those who support the newly elected president say they have full faith in him, all of the students we interviewed today believe he has a huge task ahead.
We have a lot of faith in Kevin. He has been vice president and he has been a people's person. He has done his work, pulled his weight with the admin, supporting student causes, and he's very professional. And I have no doubt that he can step up now from vice president to president and lead this team of past year members and new members in the right direction.
Always remember that the students come first before anything else, and fix problems first before they try to do anything else. We have problems for the students in UWI that needs to be fixed before you could throw a fight, you could do anything.
You see that undercroft that's going on there, or the lack of undercroft area for the Humanities and Education Department. I was kind of left by it, although I belong to the Faculty of Science and Agriculture, which is all the way down in the back there. But, I find it unfair to the students of Humanities and Education that they have their recreational area or space, in that sense, taken away from them.
Meanwhile, outgoing guild president Amilka Sinatan, who chose not to run for a second term, has some advice for the new guild president.
In terms of he really, I think, has a deep concern for the environment and agriculture on the whole. And if he could add that to the guild and any other areas in which he could build on communication with the students, I think Brother Kevin will do well.
Newly elected guild president Kevin Ramsawak says he's ready to address all of the challenges ahead.
One of the major things that this year we'll be focusing on is mobilizing students. Students have the perception, or most students have the perception, that the Guild of Students, which comprise of 23 counselors, are just responsible for addressing issues. What they must realize is that the Guild of Students comprise of the 18,000 plus students on our campus, and mobilizing students and making students aware of their priorities, not only at an academic level, however, their community level is most important.
Nikki Johnson reporting for Carib Voices.
Janitors and custodians are oftentimes seen as the invisible people, and on campus it's no different. Sometimes students seem to forget that they are also responsible for helping to keep the facilities clean. Join me as I examine this dynamic situation. Janitors are responsible for keeping our indoor and outdoor environments clean and healthy. More than that, they are responsible for keeping our deepest dirty secrets. After all, they clean up after us each and every day. It's not a profession that is appreciated by most, but janitors believe they should be viewed as healthcare workers who are committed to protecting the public health.
In order to be able to study in a comfortable environment, you need to keep your surroundings clean, because if you're not clean, you'll be uncomfortable in even studying, right? Because you'll be able to go in the library to sit down, and the library just is dirty, or the place is smelling funny. And if you help contribute to keep it that way, you'll be able to study and to be able to research.
Unfortunately, many of them feel they are unappreciated and often looked upon as scum.
I tell you now, to be honest with you. But it's a job, and if we do it, nobody will do it.
Mr. Ramroof is, however, pleading with the students to be more aware of their littering, as it is a big problem here at the university.
So, on the roadside, all about. And then I'll tell myself with Trinidadians, you'll find that all about. Any job they do, once you clean and everything, you'll find people littering.
Coming out in support of the Janses is at least one postgraduate student who says students should pitch in and help out.
But the first thing that came to my mind was the toilet facilities. And I don't want to say that it's maybe them, because I think the students themselves contributed being in the way it is, in the condition that it is sometimes. Alright, but maybe with regards to the toilet facilities, things could be a little better. I generally see those who are out in the yard, I see them trying to clean up using the mist blower and so on, trying to keep the yard up to standard.
But are the students really to blame here? Most of the bins are always out of the way or just plain absent. Besides that, the toilet facilities usually lack proper water supply and tissue paper.
Okay, in a way, they could have more in the classes. Yeah, they need more. I said so. Yeah.
So maybe next time you walk into the toilet, you'll remember to flush. This is Abida Alham for Carib Voices. The route is not yet ready for the UE Spec Marathon, but preparations are going full speed ahead. Pamela Dubar has more on this interesting development.
Participants are in for loads of prizes and other goodies as they vie for the top spot in UE Spec's 9th annual International Half Marathon. The date has been finalized but is expected to be in the last week of campus exams in October-November this year. UE Spec Sports Coordinator Karen Wickham says participants are looking forward to the half marathon as it continues to grow each year.
Marathon. We usually have 1,000 runners, well that's the race capacity, and it's been growing every year from I think 300 to 1,000 in the last few years. Last year we were even, people after we reached 1,000, people were still asking to be in the race.
The marathon attracts runners from around the region, the United States, Latin America and Europe. UE Spec is expecting to attract over 1,000 participants with little or no marketing strategy. Wickham says the marathon is of good quality and is highly subscribed throughout the region.
Asking to be in the race, so it is a highly subscribed race, and you don't have to do much marketing for people to come and register for the race.
While the route is yet to be confirmed, course features will include full medical facilities, water stops, 1-mile course markers, and runners will be electronically timed. She says participants can look forward to tokens and other gifts being given upon registration. First Citizens Bank continues to support the UE Spec International Half Marathon, together with the University of the West Indies and other corporate sponsors for the different prize categories. I am Pamela Dubar reporting for Carib Voices.
Now to regional news. Imagine if every time you put out a bag of garbage, it was used to power your air conditioner. Sounds like fiction, but in Barbados, they're looking at ways to harness how they can use waste to make energy. Quinn Boslin over at Cavell campus has more for you on this interesting
Dr. Dennis Lowe, the Barbadian Minister of Environment and Drainage, announced today that a waste-to-energy plant will be built in Barbados. The Mangrove Pond Green Energy Complex should be able to produce between 10 to 40 megawatts of electricity. The plant will cost an estimated $370 million Barbadian to construct. Mr. Lowe stated that the project would allow Barbados to be a leader in the region in terms of selling its carbon credits. The government is hoping that the new plant will help reduce Barbados' dependency on fossil fuels while also eliminating greenhouse gases. Dr. Lowe also said that the plant would operate using solar and wind energy, which would be generated by facilities on site. This is Quinn Boslin reporting from Carib Voices.
Internationally, Florida will be reviewing its controversial Stand Your Ground law made infamous after it was invoked in the shooting death of unarmed black teenager Trayvon Martin, whose killer was only arrested and charged after people protested around the world. Paula Lindo has more for you on these latest developments.
George Zimmerman has been charged with second-degree murder in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin.
Today we filed an information charging George Zimmerman with murder in the second degree. A capias has been issued for his arrest.
Special Prosecutor Angela Corey announcing her decision before a crowd of reporters as a nation watched.
Zimmerman, who is Hispanic, shot Martin on February 26, 2012, as the unarmed black 17-year-old was walking back to his father's house. Zimmerman says he shot Martin in self-defense. The police initially released the 28-year-old Zimmerman without charging him. However, nationwide protests and accusations of racism led to the issuing of a writ of habeas corpus against him. Zimmerman subsequently turned himself in. Mark Amara, Zimmerman's lawyer, says that he's uncertain how the adverse publicity will affect his client's right to a fair trial.
At trial,
there's a lot of information, and of course there's a lot of groundswell of emotions on all sides of the issue. The statute and whether or not it's appropriate, Trayvon Martin's untimely death, Mr. Zimmerman. So there's a lot of issues and there's a lot of emotions, and we need to calm this down.
Celebrities such as Bill Cosby, the Reverend Al Sharpton, and President Obama spoke out against the shooting.
You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. And, you know, I think they are right to expect that all of us as Americans are going to take this with the seriousness it deserves, and that we're going to get to the bottom of exactly what happened.
Martin's parents were relieved when they heard the announcement.
I have been up and down as if I was on a roller coaster. But I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that justice will be served.
We'll keep you up to date with this story as it continues to develop. This is Paula Lindo reporting for Carib Voices.
And now it's time for a look at the weather with Brendan O'Brien.
And in this evening's weather, you can expect fair to cloudy skies in Trinidad and Tobago with some isolated showers and the chance of a thunderstorm. In fact, as you could have seen by the clouds hanging over me at the University of the West Indies, there is a thunderstorm beginning to brew as I speak. The highest temperature to expect in Trinidad is 32 degrees Celsius with 31 degrees in Tobago, and the lowest temperatures to expect are 24 degrees Celsius in Trinidad with 23 degrees Celsius in Tobago. For those with marine interests, you can expect fair to normal waters with 2 meters in open waters and no less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. This is Brendan O'Brien from Carib Voices, reminding you, do not get caught under the weather.
Recapping the headlines, a new guild president has been elected at the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine. School janitors are calling for students to be more responsible and pick up after themselves. In sport, preparations for UWI's 9th annual marathon get underway. Regionally, Barbados plans to build a waste-to-energy plant, and internationally, George Zimmerman has been charged with second-degree murder in the death of Trayvon Martin. That's it for us here at Carib Voices. On behalf of the production team, we would like to thank you for joining us and ask that you tune in again tomorrow for more of what's happening around you. I am Abida Alaham, wishing you a safe and good night.